I never imagined that the life I meticulously built would begin to crumble on a seemingly ordinary morning. As the sun cast its golden hue over Leia, I sat at the breakfast table, sipping my chai, while Zara prepared breakfast. Her movements were mechanical, her eyes distant. The warmth that once radiated between us had been replaced by a chilling silence. Our marriage, once filled with laughter and shared dreams, had become a hollow shell. Zara's late-night outings, hushed phone conversations, and sudden disinterest in our shared routines raised red flags. I tried to dismiss my suspicions, attributing her behavior to stress or personal struggles. But the nagging feeling in my gut refused to be silenced. Determined to uncover the truth, I hired a private investigator. Days later, he presented me with photographs that shattered my world. Zara, intimately entwined with Imran, my business rival. The betrayal was twofold, personal and professional. Confronting Zara was one of the most painful experiences of my life. She didn't deny the affair. Instead, she looked me in the eyes and said, "I've found someone who understands me." Her words pierced deeper than any knife. In the days that followed, I grappled with a whirlwind of emotions: anger, sorrow, disbelief. Memories of our happier times haunted me, making the present all the more unbearable. I questioned my worth, my decisions, and the very foundation of our relationship. Amidst the turmoil, I realized that I had a choice: to let this betrayal define me or to rise above it. The path ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear: I wouldn't let this be the end of my story. The days following Zara's confession felt like a relentless storm. The warmth of our home turned cold, each room echoing with memories that now felt like betrayals. I moved into a modest apartment, leaving behind the house that once symbolized our shared dreams. News of the affair spread rapidly. Friends, once close, now offered sympathetic glances or avoided me altogether. Business associates hesitated, their trust in me shaken by the scandal. Imran, ever the opportunist, capitalized on the situation, spreading rumors to tarnish my reputation further. Zara, emboldened by Imran's support, filed for divorce, demanding a significant portion of my asset. The legal documents painted me as negligent, accusing me of prioritizing work over our marriage. It was a narrative crafted to justify her actions and claim what we had built together. The courtroom became a battleground. Zara's lawyer presented fabricated evidence, while mine struggled to counter the onslaught. Each session drained me, not just financially but emotionally. The woman I once loved now sat across from me, her eyes devoid of the affection they once held. Amidst the legal turmoil, I faced isolation. Family gatherings became rare, friends' invitations dwindled, and the business suffered. Employees, uncertain about the company's future, sought opportunities elsewhere. The empire I had built teetered on the brink of collapse. In my solitude, I turned to introspection. I questioned my choices, my priorities, and the path that led me here. Had I been so engrossed in work that I failed to see the cracks in our marriage? Or was this betrayal inevitable, a consequence of deeper issues? One evening, while sifting through old photographs, I stumbled upon a picture from our honeymoon. We stood on a beach, laughing, carefree. The contrast between that moment and our current reality was stark. It served as a painful reminder of what was lost. But amidst the pain, a realization dawned. I had been passive, allowing events to dictate my life. It was time to reclaim control, to confront the challenges head-on. The descent had reached its nadir. The only way forward was upward. After the storm of betrayal and legal battles, I found myself at a crossroad. The life I had known was in shambles, but within the ruins lay the opportunity for rebirth. I retreated from the public eye, seeking solace in solitude. The quiet allowed me to reflect on my past, my choices, and the man I had become. I realized that while Zara and Imran had taken much from me, they hadn't taken everything. I still had my intellect, my resilience, and the capacity to rebuild. Determined to rise from the ashes, I began to reconstruct my business. I reached out to former colleagues, mended broken relationships, and sought new partnerships. Transparency and integrity became the cornerstones of my renewed enterprise. Slowly, trust was rebuilt, and opportunities began to surface. On a personal level, I embarked on a journey of self-improvement. I engaged in therapy to process the trauma, adopted a healthier lifestyle, and immersed myself in activities that brought joy and fulfillment. Volunteering in community projects not only helped others but also healed parts of me I hadn't realized were wounded. Through this process, I discovered a strength I never knew I possessed. The pain had forged a resilience that became my driving force. I was no longer the man defined by betrayal. I was a man defined by his response to it. As the days turned into months, the shadows of my past began to fade. The business flourished, my personal life found balance, and I stood taller, not because I had regained what was lost, but because I had built something new from the ground up. The morning of the divorce hearing dawned with a somber sky, mirroring the gravity of the day. I awoke early, not out of anxiety, but with a sense of calm determination. Today was not just about legal proceedings, it was about reclaiming my narrative. As I prepared, I reviewed the meticulously gathered evidence of Zara and Imran's fraudulent activities. Their attempts to siphon funds from my business, manipulate contracts, and tarnish my reputation were all documented. I had enlisted the help of forensic accountants and legal experts to ensure every detail was accounted for. En route to the courthouse, unexpected traffic delays tested my patience. I arrived later than intended, only to find Zara and Imran already present, their expressions smug. They exchanged whispers and laughter, likely interpreting my tardiness as a sign of defeat. Entering the courtroom, I felt the weight of their gazes. Taking my place, I signaled to my attorney, who began presenting our case. The room shifted as evidence of their deceit unfolded, emails, financial records, and testimonies painting a clear picture of their collusion. Zara's demeanor changed from confidence to shock, Imran's from arrogance to panic. The judge, initially poised for a routine proceeding, leaned forward with keen interest. Questions were posed, answers stumbled upon, and the facade they had built began to crumble. After hours of deliberation, the verdict was delivered. The court recognized the fraudulent activities, nullified Zara's claims to my assets, and initiated legal actions against both for their misconduct. The divorce was finalized, but not in the manner they had anticipated. Exiting the courthouse, the air felt different, lighter. I had not only defended my integrity but had also exposed the truth. The journey had been arduous, filled with betrayal and pain, but it culminated in a moment of vindication. As I walked away, I didn't look back. The chapter with Zara and Imran was closed, and ahead lay a future shaped by resilience, truth, and newfound strength.